You are your soul. First and foremost, everything in the world of matter is particles in motion. Everything that's soul is the base of the patterns in motion. Consciousness is the background that the particles in motion play upon. Yeah, that's the 99.9999% of empty space that is within every structure, inside of you, inside a tree. We're all space. Everything is dancing particles. Each of the particle units vibrate at their own frequency, and that frequency is a sound, colors, that interplays with each other, and in this interplay creates different colors. So if we look at the human structure, the cells are particles in motion, dancing upon this field of empty space. But this empty space is my space, the soul's space. The soul is the imprint on, you could say, consciousness, the background of structure. You could call it God, you could call it world mind. We're talking about the same thing. So the soul is also dancing upon this universal mind form, the playground that everything dances upon. And it has its own overall wavelength signature. Each person's soul is unique unto themselves. And that signature, within that signature is a vibration, an electromagnetic pulsation, a pull, and like an ebb and a flow, like the pull that the moon has on the ocean. So it rises and it falls. And all the waters of the earth rise and fall. We know that the moon has this electromagnetic pull. Your soul has the same kind of pull. And what it pulls is it pulls and holds in form your body, the particles, the cells that become the cells. The energy of your soul, the pattern, its frequency, will attract different particles in different people. My soul cutout, cookie cutter imprint will attract different types of particles. No, I said wrong. We all have the base of the same particles. You know, there's 5 building blocks of creation. We all have the same minerals, and so I will try to say this in a better way. But for sure, the soul is attracting particular formations and vibrations of these building blocks. We could say because of karma, which is a soul's energetic state, where some parts of the soul will be more healed than others, therefore vibrating at different frequencies. So attracting to it or pushing away, repulsing different elements within it. So it will carry what we believe to be genetic patterns, but I do believe it's more of a soul pattern. And then the genetics is built around that pattern. Even if we give the body extra iron, it seems to disappear. We give the body extra B12, it seems to disappear. Why? Why isn't this the pattern of the body holding it? Because it doesn't have the ability to. And I do believe that it's because something needs to be worked out. Something is not understood or realized yet, and that is like a piece of the person's puzzle that hasn't been completed, that hasn't been figured out, and so it's playing itself out in the physical. It's showing itself that way, so it becomes a mirror. the mirror of the soul. And in a way, we get to see the state of the soul through these karmic imprints. What I just said could be misinterpreted. Do you know how? That could sound like to somebody that means the soul needs to be healed. And I wouldn't want to give that impression. You see that? Mm-hmm.
Yes, but doesn't each lifetime, don't we come back to heal or get back a piece of soul that we've lost? To heal karma, to...
Yeah, you see, the thing is, the soul is whole and complete unto itself. The soul does not need to be healed. The soul is complete. But in each lifetime, when we're physical, we do bad things, harmful things, that create an energetic imprint. And we carry that energetic imprint to the next life and the next life until it's resolved somewhere down the line, until that form, the next form, whichever one it be, is strong enough to be with its fears, strong enough to resist this pattern that will try to play itself out again and again and again. The soul brings it in to be healed, but the soul is whole. It's like you do something bad in your very first lifetime, really bad. You kill somebody, say, which is thou shalt not kill. It is a universal law. You come, you kill. You do something that you know in the core of your being is wrong, but you do it because you were told to, or you believed you would get something, land or a wife or a husband, I don't know. But you did it for a reason that you felt justified. But in the eyes of your soul, it's wrong. So it's the soul that carries that imprint forward for you to remind you of what not to do again. To remind you of what repulses it. To remind you what takes you farther and farther from it, from your true source, from all that you came to be. And you'll notice that when you do things that you have in your life that don't feel good inside you, and it's not a judgment call, it's not to give yourself anger or pain or suffering, but if you think about that time and you feel, where's my soul? It's far off. And you can feel that. It will be far off. It's repulsed by anything that a person does that's harmful to another cell, which can be a human, it can be a kitty cat, it can be a plant. We are not here to destroy cells in whatever form they come in. It's to understand that every one of those cells are being held together by a soul. It needs an energetic imprint of a soul to hold its creation intact. It's the energy field that holds it, that creates it, that makes it possible to be conscious, to be there, for the cells to work in the magical way they work. There's no machine driving the cells through the tree. Imagine if we had to do that for every tree. Oh my God, that tree cell's not working. Go put gas in the motor, Right? We don't. It does it all by itself. How? Why? It's all electromagnetic. what drives that electromagnetism? And why sometimes does it stop? When it stops, the soul leaves. We know that. Just somehow in the background of our knowingness, we know that. We all do. We know when we see a dead person, there's nothing there, it's a shell. They look familiar, but they're not there. There's nobody home. It's empty. We look for them. Where are they? They're not here. They're not there. We know that. The soul holds it all together. And that soul then recreates itself. It chooses other particles to spin. So it chooses other forms. That soul might come back as a tree if it decides that's really what it wants to be, and it's done with being human. There's no timetable. Time doesn't exist. There's no backward or forward. So how can you only evolve from a certain stage? And if I was a dog, it was like thousands of lifetimes ago. There's no way I'm near to that now. If I was a tree, well, that was way, way even before I was a dog, because that's even more primitive. And I was a rock, but yeah, that was even like at the beginning. That's how our mind thinks. Like that we have to go through this progression, and that we were an animal last. Of course, we certainly couldn't be a vegetable before that. But that's so ridiculous, because there is no time. It doesn't exist. So you're all those things now. And your soul can move freely and easily back and forth through those things, because it's just an energetic shift in frequency between when you were a tree, when you were a bird, when you were an African in the jungles and the Congos, when you were a whale, a dolphin, a mermaid. It's all there. Even other planets. There's no such thing as time and space. We all know that. We've heard it. We don't really understand it. So you have been on many planets, but there's not another planet. It's just a next door neighbor, just a frequency away. You've been all kinds of creatures that aren't here on this planet, and that's what we mean. Were you alien? Sure, just a slice away. Another frequency shift, and you can be that again. It's very simple, really. It's called traveling the matrix, but are we really traveling? Well, I guess in a way. Is there speed? Yes, I feel movement. Is it a mind-created thing? Well, what isn't mind? Psychiatrists say, oh, it's just in their mind. Well, excuse me.
Yeah.
Everything is mind. So that's a good thing, right? It's not a just. To understand, we have to break through these codes of old knowledge and truth, because a lot of old stuff keeps us in a box. It's important that some things are honored because they're truth, and also to expose the ones that hold you prisoner in a certain mind frame and that doesn't allow you the full scope of reality. It's important that you come out of that box, all of them, the preconceived notions of what reality is, breaking the real hardcore stuff, not just the everyday illusions, but it's time to go deeper than that, not just your personal illusions, but your ancestral ones, the ones that are part of your overall pattern that you've played out lifetime and lifetime and lifetime through. Those ones are the ones we want to break through today.